You're watching Beyond 100 Days, and we're talking about the Students' Loan Act 2024, which President Bola Tinubu signed on Wednesday, 3rd of April. Joining me to talk some more about this is the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Student Loan, Gboyega Isiaka. Thank you so much for joining us at this time. Well, the Students' Loan Act 2024 addresses the lapses of the previous law, and those lapses include the management and structure of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, which administers the fund. What are the marked differences in the management and executive functions of NEL Fund? All right, it appears there's some issue getting that, but then let's bring you some more updates on that act, which the president actually signed. He signed the bill on Wednesday, and therefore it became an act. And some of the marked differences has to do with the management and structure, eligibility criteria, the loan repayment procedure, and all of those. For instance, in the previous act, the base was that whoever would apply would need to come from a family that earns less than 500,000 naira annually. And with this new one now, that has been erased. So we hope to take up some of those questions with Mr. Isiaka, who is Chairman, House of Reps Committee on Student Loan. All right, so Honorable, I was asking about the marked differences in the management and executive functions of NEL Fund. If you could, shed some light on that.
Hello?
Yes, Honorable Isiaka. In the previous law, the CBN governor had both executive and management powers, of NEL Fund. But now that has, been restructured. So help us get, better understanding of that.
Okay, thank you very much. Basically, what we had in the law that was effectively repealed yesterday, 2 days ago rather, with the signing of the new law, was that the executive function was actually with the CBN governor, who was also given the power to appoint a secretary, not executive secretary, a secretary. And then have other members, ministers, and other officials. But effectively, the whole power was in the hand of the CBN governor. And we felt that, that was good for the CBN of yesterday, that was highly interventionist in terms of, getting into what was happening. Even the CBN governor himself has said that he's not going to intervene so much. He has so much in their plate. So the new law, established, Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, which is a body corporate. It can sue and be sued. It has all the powers of a corporation. It has a board, and there has a management, and there has all the powers, to enter into agreement, to enter into contract, to enter into what any company can do. It's a body corporate, as lawyers will say. So that is the difference. So we now have a standalone company, a body corporate, quasi private company that can engage into giving out of loans and recovery of loans, and also managing, assets and series of facilities, of loan on behalf of Nigerian students, to be given out rather to Nigerian students. So that is the major difference as far as that one is concerned. Of course, there are some other differences. I've heard some of it when you were talking that have been removed. The issue of guarantee for loan has also been removed. Mm-hmm. The issue of the fact that if your parents are owing a bank, you would not be entitled to, has also been removed. We cannot be visiting the sin of parents on the students. That has also been removed. The time of payments has also been make a lot easier. So we now have a new law that is clearly much more efficient, and we believe can deliver better than we had. So those are some of the differences. There are one or two others, but just to address the ones you have mentioned, which is this issue of the CBN being in charge then and now. The CBN is now represented on the board, just like we have the NIMC, the data management institution, also represented on the board. The Ministry of Education is represented. The youth is represented. Nigerian NANS is represented. And a few other stakeholders, MBT, ASU. So that is what we now have. And then we now have a company that is headed by an MD yet to be announced, and also 2 executive directors. And then they will now have other officers who will either be newly employed or be seconded from existing agencies as provided in the law.
All right, let's look at some other things, and that is about the eligibility now for the eligibility requirement. In the previous law, only applicants with a combined family income of less than 500,000 naira per annum could apply. So in this new law now, who can apply?
Any Nigerian students can apply. In this particular one, for public institutions, any Nigerian student that is attending universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, technical and vocational schools can apply, owned by private, federal or state governments, can apply. The funding or the any Nigerian students now has the right to apply, and also the issue of it being your parents, having guarantors have also been removed. What is important now is for you to give all the information about yourself, including biometrics and all of that. And it's an offense for you to give a false information. I think it's an offense punishable with 3 years imprisonment if you give a false information about yourself. So it is believed that with all those information that you are giving, it's going to be difficult for you. It will be very difficult for you, to run away or not to comply with what needs to be complied with in terms of repayment. That is the belief. That is the conviction, particularly in this age of technology. So it's going to be highly technology based, and also employers are also now requested, before you employ anybody, you're also now requested by provision of Section 29 of that Act to find out the student loan status of that your would-be employee, so that you can begin to make deductions from the salary up to a maximum of 10% of gross income, also provided in the law for you to comply with all of that. So some of those inhibitions have been removed. So we now have a cleaner, better and more efficient law.
Right. So with this provision,
of course, directors are also given the power by Section 6, I think subsection D or so of the law, to issue guidelines from time to time. All of the things that you need to do cannot be provided in the law. The guidelines will also be given from time to time by the board of directors of NEL Fund on the things that also need to be added.
All right. So with this provision, it means that even the companies themselves would need to be in sync with the board, with NEL Fund, to ensure that whoever they employ is able to pay back if they've at any point, taken the student loan. We hear that the sum is static. How much can each applicant get?
Those are the things that will be provided in the guidelines. The law, all the law says is that it covers both school fees and maintenance costs. So how much and all of those details are the things that will come up with the guide that will be part of the guideline. And the guidelines, by virtue of that section that I mentioned, is taken to be part and parcel of the law. So the details of, for instance, if you are a university student, you're a polytechnic student, a college of education student, or technical or vocational, how much you can apply for, how much you can be entitled to, and all of that are things that will be given out, that will be contained in the guideline to be issued from time to time by the board and the management of NEL Fund when they are in place.
I hear you. Now, applicants are expected to apply through their banks with the head of the institutions signing off on it. Are you concerned this could be weaponized in cases where the applicant is not exactly in the good books of the authorities?
Well, it's an open thing. There are sections there that also disqualify an applicant. And, for instance, if you are enjoying a scholarship or you are enjoying, some grants or aids from any state or federal government, you might not be entitled by provision of a particular section there. And also, if you are a member of a secret court confirmed by the student, by the institution, if you have been involved in sexual malpractices or been involved in drug, those are the things that everybody that will be involved in this, we assume that they are all learned, they are all exposed, they are all educated, So where witch hunting, if that is, I didn't hear well, but I think that's what I heard. Where witch hunting is alleged or is proven, it can be brought up, and that can be taken care of. But I think the provision is there for you as a Nigerian student. If you are not in this category of that can lead to disqualification, you have a right to apply. And I think there's also a provision that within a month, there must be a response to you through your school on the status of your application. There's also a provision for that. I can't remember the section now. Within a month of your application, you will be given a response, either positive or under processing, on the status of your application. So there are all those provisions there, which to a great extent we believe should be able to do.
All right, then. I've been speaking with the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Student Loan, Boyega Isiaka. Thank you very much for this explanation about the Student Loan Act. Well, that's our program today. Do watch a repeat broadcast.